in a way, how the US has become much more cautious about its own commitments. And all of this has created, of course, a concept called the Indo-Pacific, but it has also created a grouping called the Quad, which is US, Japan, Australia, and India. We just had a meeting last week in Hiroshima of the Quad. Prime Minister went there. He met his counterparts. And, this is illustrative of the kind of new directions we are moving. Because if you look at the Quad, the Quad is today discussing maritime collaboration. It is looking at infrastructure connectivity. It is looking at 5G. It is looking at vaccines. By the way, it also offers fellowships. So there's a lot out there. I'm sure Nivedita will share some of that with some of you who are interested. But what Quad does is it gives us more space, it gives us new partners, it gives us more partners. And by the way, we don't call it a Quad, we have given it a somewhat musical name called I2U2. But we have a group of countries to the west of India. India, Israel, US and UAE. And here too, there is a group of countries who meet regularly, who discuss projects. And I mentioned this to you because this is also, in a way, a new way of working. This is actually part of this redesigning that we are. And it's redesigning in the manner in which you work, the creation of platforms, the outcomes which are generated, and the relative weight of the theatres and the. But while I've spoken about these changes, I also want you people to understand that under Prime Minister Modi, we are not thinking just of tomorrow. We are not even thinking of the next year. We are thinking really beyond. And in many ways, without exaggeration, we are today laying the foundation of what is a global footprint where an Indian presence, you can go to the farthest corner, to Caribbean, to South America, or you can go, by the way, where I just went with the Prime Minister of the Pacific Islands, places where sometimes no Indian Prime Minister has gone, sometimes no Indian Foreign Minister. But today, these are places where we have engagements, we have a presence, we see business, we sometimes see education. So we see Indian services out there. So what is happening with, when you become the fifth largest economy and we may not be conscious, but slowly our, the ripple effect of what happens in India and by India, it goes through the environment. So you can go to very, very remote countries. I was 2 weeks ago in the Dominican Republic. Trade between India and the Dominican Republic went up from $10 million to $1 billion in the last 2 decades. And many of us are not even conscious. I traveled around Central America. I could get the same, medical, the cheap, the medicines, which I get in India. Because today our pharmaceutical presence has really become so big. So one part of it is we are developing a global footprint. The other part of it, we are actually shaping the big global issues. Because there are, we think of international politics as something between nations, and that is true, it is. But there are some issues which are bigger than nations, which are bigger than region. Climate change. You people today are one of the few universities who actually have a dedicated program on climate action. Now, this is actually absolutely an existential issue. Now, how can it be that we are the most populous country, we are the fifth biggest economy, and we do not have a big say in shaping climate action? If that happened, we would be failing not just in our diplomacy, in actually our basic duty to our citizens and to our planet. So, again, what is diplomacy itself? The effort, the subject, the manner. So, you would have seen a lot of the initiatives today, the big initiatives on climate action, actually are coming out of India. And as someone who's accompanied the Prime Minister for many of these conferences, I must tell you, a lot of it is coming out of his experiences in Gujarat. So he was one of